What's up? We're live. So it was just having a conversation with one of the attendees of a talk I did in Bangkok. In Bangkok, this is the most I've done overseas. The most speaking I've done overseas in a long time. In Panama right now, headed to Colombia, speaking on Thursday. And then got some more stuff coming up. I can't even remember what all is going on. But I was talking to one of the attendees of the Bangkok event, and one of the things that we were talking about is which, by the way, I'll give a shout out to his business. Amazing. Some of you guys have really brilliant businesses beyond anything that I've even ever considered. If you're familiar with Zapier, they're building a business that's basically Zapier for retail establishments. And, I was on the call with him, and then he told me about it. And so I didn't get a chance to check it out till after the call. But if you watch this, absolutely impressed with what you're building. If you're in a retail business, definitely check out Inverge and VergeHQ.com. And so he's doing some different things where, he's basically has another business that may be exiting and looking at doing some acquisitions. If you are interested in growing your current business through acquisition, be sure to reach out. I'm doing kind of a very small event where we're going to be basically helping people that already have a business. If it's a substantial business and you want to do acquisitions, we have just access to capital and that kind of thing through Fiji. And we want to fund that. So reach out if you have a seven-figure business or so and you want to grow through acquisitions. One of the things that we're talking about is, in general, in the talk that I gave in Bangkok, I was talking about how I stay away from operations. And one of the reasons I stay away from operations is when you look at the leverage of where you're going to create the most wealth, it's not operations, right? So the things that create the most wealth are going to be, obviously the exit of the business. So it's, how are you positioning the exit? Who are the buyers that you're bringing in strategically? All those things. And so, we help businesses with that, just preparing for exit. And, when you look at somebody like one of the best operators ever in history, Jeff Bezos, he actually has never made a dime from operating his business. It's none of its wealth, very, very little, besides a tiny salary, has been generated from operating Amazon. All of his wealth came from the exit. And so when I'm looking at a deal, my focus is, how do I get into this business? And, basically, how do I get into the deal and focus on what's the exit going to be, maximizing that exit. But I want to talk to y'all about, just the process of even realizing, where is my place in a business? How am I going to impact even the current business that I own so that I'm generating the most wealth? And for 90% of entrepreneurs, they're really bogged down by things that aren't going to really generate them any return. And so part of this is kind of being able to focus. It's not even on the business. I think people have moved from being in the business to own the business. And so this is trying to get basically above the business. And I get to see it. I get to see a lot of people that reach out to us. We have a lot of entrepreneurs that reach out to us. And people don't realize, because we live in this very unique social media time where everybody's saying positive things about their business, and everybody's business is going well, and they're all generating millions, and it's just amazing. So things are great, when a lot of times reality just isn't that. And we're in a unique position, especially on the good merger side of things, where we get to see a lot of businesses that want to come to market, and a lot of people that want to get rid of their business. And I think a lot of people think they're the only ones. And that's one of the other unfortunate things where people want, they're kind of tired of business. It's not living up to their expectations. They want to get out of it, but they think, oh, well, I'm the rarity. I get on Instagram and everybody else is doing great. But we get to see, and I've had some people that are kind of quote unquote influencers that come and they're trying to exit. It's like, yeah, like you just don't have anything to that's going to be valuable enough for somebody to buy. And so, people are like, oh, how much is my business worth? It's like, it's probably negative. You probably have to pay somebody to take over this business because it's a very specific way that you build a business. If you want to sell with Jeff Bezos, there's specific things that he had to do. And the reason that he literally built a business where he made no money off the operations of the business and all the work he put in it was building it for the exit. And the exit, just for those who aren't familiar, is to the public market. So even if you're not selling the business, that's still considered an exit. So most people aren't doing well in their business, and that's just a fact. It's just literally the majority of people that own a business are suffering, and it's a bunch of headaches, and they're bogged down with a lot of issues, and they're not making the money for it on one end, which it's okay if you're like Jeff Bezos. And you're building something to exit, but that's the problem. They're also not building something that's even exitable. So they can't exit. They're not getting money off the operation, and that is a nightmare. And I want to help you avoid that nightmare. I don't want you calling me like so many of the calls that we get every single week. So if you are at a point right now and you're kind of trying to decide what's my vision, what's next for me, I think that part of the vision is coming up with your anti-vision. After my first 4 businesses, I had a really clear vision of what I didn't want. And I was probably around 30 or so, and actually had a few other deals at that point. But I just had a bunch of businesses, a bunch of assets, real estate, that kind of thing. And I'd never really taken the time to get very specific about as much of what I don't want as what I want, because what I wanted, the vision was, okay, I want to be wealthy. I want to have these things and But I didn't take enough time to say, what's my anti-vision? What don't I want? And I don't want a bunch of rental properties where people are calling me, and even if I have a property manager, they're still just causing headaches for me and that kind of thing. Like, I don't want to live like that. I don't want even a bunch of cars and having issues with cars. So like coming up with that anti-vision is really important. And I think the more specific and the more things that you can come up with as on your list of your anti-vision, the more clear you get about your real vision. And I just don't hear people talking about the importance of getting clear on what you don't want. I think the other part of getting clear on what you don't want is you end up kind of going with the flow. And for anybody who has a true vision for their life, the going with the flow is the absolute worst thing you can do. Going with the flow it's going to have you end up where most people are, and we know again statistically that the majority of people are broke. And so one of the ways to come up with your anti-vision is even looking at other people and looking at, okay, I don't, want a job. I don't, want to not have time to work out. I want to wake up in the morning. I don't want to have to wake up in the morning early, have to get my kids up, not be able to spend time with them and be patient because I'm rushing off to get them to school so I can get to work. And so again, coming up with that anti-vision allows you to get clear. Sorry, that's just a reminder of a meeting coming up. What time is it? So you want to get very clear with that. The other thing is you want to get clear inside of your business. What is the business that you want to run? And I think a lot of people get into business, and again, me early on, the goal is just like, okay, I want this amount of money, or I want to get free of this job or whatever the case is. And they end up letting the business dictate what their life is going to look like. So quite literally, the business is running them. The clients are running them. The customers are running them. The employees are running them, as opposed to them designing and building a business. And so, part of this is the anti-vision, but the other part obviously is coming up with the actual vision. But in this anti-vision, you want to specifically get into your business. I mean, you want to dig in, like, what do I want inside of this business? Like, what's going to make me happy? Do I want employees? Or, do I really want to be solo and not deal with employees? And if I have anybody, it's going to be contractors. Do I really want to deal with customer complaints and that kind of thing? Do I want to work more with B2B people? And so instead of just saying, okay, here's the business, I'm going to go do it, you start with your number one, your anti-business, what you don't want in the business. I don't want any direct report employees and that kind of thing. For me, it's, like I said, I stay away from operations. And so for my model, which is kind of what I was talking about with my man, Matt, from the Thailand event, my model for what I do is built around my vision for my life, my business, for my business, and my vision for my investments. It's not that those things dictate what I'm going to do, but I have to be very specific and I have to hold myself to it, because there are a lot of opportunities that I turn down because of that. The next part of this is understanding the value of your mental energy. And I think a lot of people have ideas, they have desires, they have things that are running around in their head, and they don't take the time to, number one, value that mental energy that's been spent on those ideas enough to write them down, organize them, come up with a specific plan to achieve them, decide if they're valuable enough or not. And so I think really valuing your mental energy will help you achieve things way faster than everybody else. Because most people are walking around in a mental and psychological mess. They're just a complete wreck. Their thoughts aren't organized, just a bunch of like, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna go over here. It's just, kind of madness in there. And there's almost like this, just somebody in their head just yelling about a bunch of different things. And so if you're able to, number one, have your anti-vision, create your vision, and then put your mental energy towards being proactive, not just a bunch of these random ideas of like, I want to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to try this thing over here. And that's one of the things that I see when we talk to a lot of these entrepreneurs, is like kind of just a lot of different things. But when it comes to put, your mental energy, if you value your vision for your life and you value your vision for your business, you should value enough the mental energy to really organize the ideas around that and spend time every day, whether it's on a notepad, typing it out. I really prefer, I'm just a bigger fan of doing it in a notepad of, okay, here are the things today specifically that I'm doing to move towards that vision. And so that might mean taking some kind of action. It obviously should mean learning things, researching things, but getting very, very clear. And then when you're actually putting bodily energy towards those goals, it's not this kind of chaotic action. It's very specific. It's very organized. It's step by step. And you're moving in a specific direction towards your vision. I like to think from a perspective of the scientific method when doing this. So, step one, anti-vision, step two, vision, step three, organizing on a daily basis your mental energy, step four, putting those things into action. And step five is those actions should be around the scientific method, basically. So in school, we learn about scientific method, and the idea is that you're coming up with a hypothesis. So you're basically when you're coming up with the actions that you're going to take towards your vision. Take a little sip of the coffee. That's one thing that I love about South America. Is like, I can't do American coffee, man. When I'm in America, coffee is so whack. So scientific method, when you put those things into action, again, you're not just doing something and hoping that it works and realizing that it doesn't. So your ideas and your actions are organized as number one, a hypothesis. I think if I take this action, this thing will happen. Number two, you actually do the experiment. Number three, you're measuring the results of the action that you took. Okay, I took this action. Did it move me towards the goal or did it not? It's amazing to me the number of people that are running businesses and they don't do just that simple thing. And so you're measuring daily the results. And then the last part is you come up with a theory about that. And you say, oh, great. Based on those results, I'm never doing that again, or based on those results, I think it's worth continuing to test. And in the hypothesis, you're not just saying it's just for today. You're saying over the next 90 days, because it's not like something good or bad is going to happen within that first day. But your hypothesis is in the next 90 days, I'm going to grow my Twitter following this amount. Here's the action I'm going to do on a daily basis in order to do that. Here's, on a weekly basis, what I think the results will be, blah, blah, blah. But you're constantly measuring. Then you come up with your theory. And in our case, our theory is something that either gets tossed, right? Either that sucked, didn't work, tossing it. Or it's something that you ingrain into your daily plan and activities and ongoing life. Hopefully that is helpful. If it was, be sure to come and hang out with us in the Patreon. We've got some cool things that are gonna come up, talking a little bit more about how I trade for income. I don't even really consider it trading, but just how I get income from the stock market. And just some other cool things for 2023. And you get a little more access just with deals and things you're trying to get financed and all that fun stuff. If you haven't yet, definitely go to Dealmakers Institute. Some events and stuff coming up there. And if you're a 7-figure business owner and want to grow through acquisitions, hit me as well. All right, let's go through a few of these. We'll bounce out of here. Got some coming up in a couple minutes. Let's see. All right. Watt Global Solutions. What is up? Love that logo. Says, hello, Ace. Thanks for always leaving a trail of jewels. I certainly appreciate that. Definitely picking up what you're putting down. Yeah, like we're still early. We're still early in the year. Second month. It's a lot of time to make some amazing things happen. And that's my goal for each of you. Brandon G, welcome back, homie. What's up? Says, hey, Ace, great video. Really need to revisit my life vision and life book goals. Where are you in the world? Are you making any moves to prepare for the petrodollar US dollar dump? All right, so I do want to, there's so much going on, man. There's so much going on the geopolitical level, on the economic level, that I think a lot of people aren't paying attention to. So I do want to just jump into that. I got to do one of those soon. Going back to like the $1 Million Mind series that we did. Mr. Wolf TV. Oh, and then I think you asked where. So Panama. I'm in Panama now. Got an event in Colombia. So I fly out tomorrow and then to Mexico, CDMX. If anybody's in Mexico City, I was supposed to get there in time to meet with this financial advisor, this contact that I really wanted to, but I don't know if I'm making it in time. So shout out to you, Stephen. If you're in here, hit me so we can figure out if I'm going to make it to Mexico in time for that. And then back to the US after that, the following week. All right. Mr. Wolf TV says, I don't want to live in the United States the full calendar year anymore. I recommend splitting time. Definitely. I recommend right now, I don't have a home. So I had, my most recent place was in Buenos Aires, and somebody was asking me, so like, where do you live? And it's like, I live on Earth, man. I live on Earth. We're all here, citizens of Earth. It's very sad and unfortunate that, historically, some people came before us and just some humans just like us decided to divide up the world and say, okay, you can go here, You can't go there based on where you were born, which you had no control over. So if you do happen to be one of the subscribers that lives in America, you're very fortunate. And I'm amazed at the number of people who don't take advantage of that good fortune. It's like winning the lottery, being able to have a U.S. passport and just been like, yeah, I'm not gonna cash that in. Nah, I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna pass. No, I don't want that lottery ticket. It's like we can go anywhere, and I think another part of that is just there are a lot of opportunities. There's just so many opportunities everywhere. One of my best deals of the last since quarantine has been a business in Colombia. So definitely recommend it personally and financially. Yes, sir. Brent says international level in every area if possible. I love it. Cool. I love it. Mr. Wolf is in Cali. I love Cali. Cali is one of my favorites. All right. Let's see. Have to. Exactly. Citizen of the world. All right. I'm going to jump. Got a call coming up. Hopefully this is valuable. Be sure to subscribe, like, and get in touch.